Ellen Road, which is full to the rafters again this evening, under the lights. Great sight, great atmosphere, great noise as the two teams have just emerged from the tunnel down below. And once again, we find ourselves talking about a pressure fixture for the home side, who now, at start of play, have slipped down to second place in the championship. The nip and tuck battle with Sheffield United goes on after their win away at Swansea last night. Leeds United have to win this game if they are to reclaim top spot this evening. 2 points the gap between the two at the top. Norwich City providing the opposition. And Norwich City are a side who find themselves in mid-table. As we look at the Leeds United side for this game this evening, it's the same side that started the match against Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. So strong on the pitch and strong off the pitch as well, and those subs were used to good effect at the weekend. Norwich City have all sorts of injury problems coming into this one. Players missing, also suspension to the key man up front as well. And they've made just one change. Their starting 11, Schwartau, the young Dane, comes into the starting 11, and the man who replaced Senats is on the bench. Norwich, who come into this one in a difficult period, players missing, and they would be very much fancied at the outset, at the beginning of the campaign, as strong playoff contenders. At the moment, they find themselves a little way off the playoff pace, and so it's there for Leeds to try and do what needs to be done here this evening, frankly. Leeds United all in white, and Norwich appear to be pretty much all in black, with yellow piping, as it used to be described. And the two teams in their respective halves. Leeds United in the huddle. Final words as the two captains meet elsewhere in the centre circle. Leeds looking to keep the strong home form going in this game this evening. Imperative that they do, really. The only recent blemish was that game against Blackburn Rovers, but Leeds have to forget all about that and get back on the task of making sure that they do what they did here. Ultimately, it appeared fairly comfortably, but actually the story of the game against Sheffield Wednesday wasn't all that. It was a difficult game at times, and a good start to this one is probably as important as it was at the weekend. Norwich, it appears, are going to get the game underway. Daniel Farke, very familiar figure for the Norwich City supporters, popular figure still with the Norwich fans as well. After his time at the club, now it's full focus Leeds United, now it's full focus on trying to achieve promotion, another promotion. Gunn with the early ball forward, up deep into the Leeds half. Meslier runs to the edge of the penalty area to pick that one up. Early noise from the home supporters. It's an extra crackle to the atmosphere when the floodlights are on here for sure. Bogle, Aaronson, nice ball into the gap for Dan James, who puts it into the middle. Oh, what a start for Leeds United. James with the ball across, Solomon with the finish, and Leeds are in front inside 60 seconds at Ellen Road. Sensational. Leeds 1, Norwich 0.
I was wanting a fast start. My goodness, I've just sat down. What a goal that was. Brilliant play down the right-hand side. And with space in behind the back four, just put the ball there for Dan James to get on the end of it. And I just love the way that he gets it into the box nice and early. Has one quick look, knows where to put it, and Solomon has made the run to the near post. It's a really good finish as well. He gets there, lovely interchange, wasn't it, between Bogle and Aaronson, but it's all about that cross and a tidy finish from Manor Solomon.
So Solomon on target again for Leeds United. It's another early goal here at Ellen Road, but that is the quickest one we've seen so far this season. Well inside 60 seconds. What was it, round about the 40-second mark? Power play from Leeds, some great passing in the approach, and then that fine ball in from James and swept home by Mana Solomon. Well, there was good noise around the place at kick-off. Those volume levels have been raised a little notch here after Leeds got off to the perfect start.
Really interesting now, see how Norwich do react, because clearly they've been struggling, so many injuries as well. Had to go to Sheffield United, well, they lost that one. Now coming to Ellen Road, wouldn't have been high on their list of places to go. And now they find themselves 1-0 down. So how will they respond? What we need to do is forget about that. How will we respond? Let's get control of this game and keep playing our stuff.
Remind you that Sainz isn't available to them because he's in the midst of a lengthy suspension. Their leading scorer, the man who's got 15 goals, which is a third of Norwich's goal tally so far this season. Solomon trying to do his work over on the far side. Leeds won the ball back as Norwich hesitated. Then there's a late lunge and a foul for that challenge on Sam Byram. And the referee he is producing an early card for Manuel Hernandez.
And rightly so. It's just a really poor challenge. I think it's Cullen Fisher, with the challenge. But it's... Fisher's just gone straight through Byram, hasn't he? You always wonder sometimes, it's so early on in the game, will the referee just going to allow that one? But rightly so, he didn't.
Yeah, it looks like it was Fisher with the challenge. And the first yellow card comes inside the first 3.5 minutes. Leeds have a decent opportunity with a set piece as well that results with Rothwell on duty. And a long line of Leeds shirts strung out across the edge of the Norwich penalty area. Rothwell drops it in low. It's a header clear. And then Leeds lose possession, and suddenly Norwich streak forward, and the charge down the right-hand channel is ongoing. Men waiting in the middle as well, and it's headed clear by Bogle. Still Fisher's there for Norwich. His shot is blocked. And then Piroe from the edge of the penalty area clears a little further forward. Well, we mentioned that Leeds had a long line of players across the edge of the Norwich penalty area. It was almost Leeds' undoing there, because they had a long way to get back when Norwich sprung the counter-attack.
Certainly did, but Aaronson was the one, wasn't he, who was wise to get across, but he was then beaten as well. Got to be mindful of that counter.
Ball out of play. Misplaced ball for a Leeds United throw-in. Jayden Bogle on hand to retrieve the ball. Tanaka with the little touch in to Bogle. And then the ball is played over the halfway line where Rodon comes in but can't keep possession. Now here's Dan James trying to thread his way through. Tanaka behind him.
Get some Japanese lessons, Bryn. Come on.
Right, so we have been told that the pronunciation, I think, is Tanaka, and not, as we have previously been suggesting, it's Tanaka, right? So Tanaka is what we're going for this evening. Stand by a deluge of messages to tell me that I'm completely wrong. We hopefully have the Tokyo Whites, the Japan Whites watching. Maybe they can help us out. Here's Bogle for Leeds United. Crossed into the penalty area. Cleared away from the edge of the box with Solomon waiting on the far side.
I like the idea, though, of Bogle getting it in nice and early. Of course, we scored from that. How many times the teams just drop back and we have to play in front of them, but it's a couple now that's been in behind.
Aaronson's done well here for Leeds. Just overran that one slightly as he was moving into the penalty area. Won it back well in the first place, though. Level of intensity required from Leeds United here, just to keep the foot on the throttle after that super start. Norwich enjoying their first kind of spell of extended possession here. Callum Doyle back to the familiar figure of Duffy. And then Fisher, the man carded a little while ago.
Of course, that is the style that Norwich play. Get plenty of passes around the back, left and right, but how far up the pitch can they get here? They're going backwards.
Leeds are pressing high. Getting closer and closer before Tanaka's foul. And there's another card coming out here as well. Well, it was through the back of the opponent, I figure. And so 2 players have now find themselves quickly into the referee's book.
You can see the passing game there actually did work. They beat the press. Tanaka gets the yellow card.
So the midfielder will have to be somewhat cautious the next time a similar situation arises.
It's always difficult as well in midfield. He's in there to make those sort of challenges. He's going to have to just be careful now.
Norwich again playing out from the back, inviting the Leeds pressure. Duffy, out it goes into the right back position. And then Schwartau can't pick it up on the halfway line. It ends up almost level back with the Norwich penalty area for a throw into the visiting team. McLean, the captain, under pressure, gets it forward, headed back by Byram. And then Norwich find a bit of space down the left-hand side. Dobbin in possession for them now, recent arrival. Marcondes gets the return ball. Tanaka is with him. He goes down. He's fouled. And he's drawn the foul there. And he's done a good job for Leeds defensively.
He's done excellent there. Just nipped in at the right time and then gets around his man. And of course, all Marcondes then could do is go straight into the back of him.
Norwich City head coach. Not entirely impressed, perhaps, with the decision given there. Johannes Thorup. Leeds free kick, which Meslier will take. Piroe, little flick. James in field. Can't find a teammate. Fisher pushes it back and then further back to Duffy. And then back it comes to Doyle. Straight ball, straight to Ampadu. Bogle to his right. Back it goes to Rodon. And then Ampadu. Solomon with the gloves on to Rothwell. Ampadu forward to Tanaka. Now Bogle can have a little bit of a run here if he wants. Helps it on to James instead. James, positive run into the midst of the Norwich players. Good challenge from Tanaka. And the ball just out. Flag is raised as James thought he'd done enough to win it and then get on his way.
Did that go out? Well, referee assistant says yes, so that's the end of that. But you can see how Norwich want to play. I was actually talking to John Newsom, who went to watch Sheffield United versus Norwich, and he said exactly what we're seeing here.
Suddenly there's a ball over the top and Rodon streaking back to make sure he's the first man to it, which he is. It was a misplaced ball initially from Ethan Ampadu, and he gave his central defensive colleague a bit of a chase there.
So did Schwartau, was beaten for pace. Rodon, brilliant recovery run. He said the same thing in that Norwich are playing out from the back. They're neat and tidy, but it breaks down then in that final third, clearly with their injuries. Just Sargent, of course, is on the bench as well, but still got to be certainly mindful of the players out there, and they can still cause us plenty of damage if we let them.
Rodon from Ampadu. And back again. The captain plays it to Dan James. And it goes to Aaronson. He's put it over the top, but that's surely too far ahead of Bogle. Doesn't quite manage to catch it before it rolls out. So that's a goal kick. Daniel Farke extremely animated down in that Leeds technical area. I'm sure he was very happy with that ball forward.
No, actually it was quite a straightforward ball, but I think Aaronson thought he was getting tackled and got there a bit too quickly, in that too much power was on the pass.
Norwich taking a bit of a risk here. Put it over the first line. Rodon was coming deep to apply pressure. James underneath it. Tucks it into Aaronson. That's a lovely ball. And he almost gets it back as well. It's still alive for Leeds in the middle before Gunn rises above all others to claim the ball for Norwich. Again, goalkeeper encouraged to go short. Byram just getting caught underneath the ball there, and a little pull back on his opponent, which results in a Norwich free kick, which is going to be some way inside the Leeds half, is it?
Has to be another yellow card.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Sam Byram just got caught up with his opposite number, Hernandez, there. And as Hernandez found himself on the other side, Byram had to tug him back.
Sam's complaining, but unfortunately that is a yellow card, just a nothing ball. He's tried to actually nick it underneath. That little push, and then he's had to grab his opponent and pull him back.
So Norwich with McLean and Marcondes over the ball. Referee happy that the game can resume. Taken short. Which opens things up a little in front of McLean to drive the ball into the penalty area. Bogle just flicked off the top of Jaden Bogle's head there and behind for a Norwich City corner. And this has been a positive response from the away side, having gone behind inside 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's looked like they've cleared their head and they're trying to come back into the game. And set piece, here's where we need a lot of concentration.
That 6-yard box is a very busy place currently, as it looks like an in-swinging corner. Swung in now, headed out towards the edge of the area. Good clearance. Duffy always dangerous with hands to his head there. Must have thought that there was an opportunity for him. Push in the back. Wins Leeds a free kick, which they're quite keen to take quickly, and in hindsight may have decided to delay instead.
Piroe's complaining about plenty of bodies in the way, but obviously he chose to take it quickly.
Can we have another go?
Aaronson certainly felt the force of that challenge from behind. You can see it again as Piroe actually makes the headed clearance. It's just the knee, isn't it, of Callum Fisher in the back. He's got to be careful as well because he's already been booked.
Norwich take the opportunity, or some of the players do anyway, to come to the touchline while Brendan Aaronson is continuing to receive treatment. Looks like a painful one, that.
Now all the players are coming over. I think when a team goes 1-0 down so early on, nothing really changes. It's the game plan is just the game plan, and so just get back to doing their own tactics, just do it better, obviously defend better, but nothing will change at this point in time.
Aaronson walks towards the touchline as we watch the goal again.
Good early ball in, wasn't it, as well? And Solomon getting across his man from that left-hand side. He goes near Piroe far, and Solomon got the pass.
And acknowledges the delivery from Dan James in the midst of the celebration. Aaronson's going to be coming back on shortly. The game will get going again with Norwich having the ball on the halfway line. Back in play. Duffy to Doyle. And returned. Allowed to walk that one forward, so Dan James just increases the pressure a little.
It's like they're playing for 30 seconds to allow Aaronson back on, which is quite kind of them.
The power play is coming to its end now as Aaronson is signalled back on. There is a spare man for Norwich at the moment. They have Dobbin on this side. They're attacking down the right side now, though. Into the edge of the penalty area. Shot is delivered, scuffed, and it rolls harmlessly away from goal from the foot of Hernandez.
Well, everything actually looked quite good for Hernandez when he set off. An excellent 1-2. Shot with his left. I must admit, just lacked power, but cutting in from the right. It was a good layback as well, but not a good effort.
Rodon to Bogle. Just ahead of Aaronson, but he's won it anyway. Off the feet of Doyle. Plays it into Piroe in the penalty area. And his shot is blocked and sent behind. Piroe pulled the trigger just as he was doing so. The defender got in front of him.
Yeah, Shane Duffy actually does really well. He was just trying to set himself, Piroe. We've seen him plenty of time gain his composure and then stick it in the bottom corner. This time, Duffy gets across, makes a good block.
So Rothwell will take the corner kick. Solomon is an option close by. Looks like Rothwell's going to go long instead, though. That's what he does. Into the area where Joe Rodon was arriving. He couldn't get up to make the header. Bogle back in the centre circle. Solomon down the right. Nice ball into Rothwell, and then Solomon was unable to continue his forward run. Just got tangled up with the defender, and then it was allowed to roll out for a Norwich throw-in.
Cross wires just slightly, but James has gone over to the left-hand side and Solomon to the right just for now.
So throw-in down by the corner flag. And it's the fullback Chrisene who's taking it. Just skies that one, and it comes back to him. It stays in play. Tanaka wins it. And then Aaronson tries to do the same. Somehow, Norwich work it through the on-rushing white-shirted players, and then a foul is given ultimately against Brendan Aaronson. And you can see the approach, can't you?
You can, and it's great closing down from us, and all the good work there that Norwich did, but they're playing 5 yards outside their own 18-yard box, and they're getting nowhere.
Could be at it again here, perhaps. A little further forward this time. Rothwell goes in to try and win it for Leeds in midfield, as does Ampadu, but ultimately there's space down the right for Norwich City, which is where the ball ends up. And he charges on into the penalty area, still going, cut back into the middle. Ampadu's header clear. Piroe picks it up deep in his own half, loses it though, and Norwich again just outside the penalty area. Cross in off Byram's head. Meslier goes and catches confidently. And gets a little high five off Ampadu for claiming that one.
Excellent. Stacey on the right-hand side with his cross once it come off Byram. Important there that the keeper comes out and takes charge. And it's not an easy ball to gather either. It's high. The good thing is that he really does command it and catches it well.
Rothwell to Rodon. To the right side, and Solomon. Goes back into his own half. Manor Solomon to Joe Rodon. Now Ampadu. On to Rothwell. And Rothwell to his left. The ball was just flicked forward under pressure from Dan James. Got a touch off the Norwich player. Out it goes for a Leeds throw-in. Which comes back to Ampadu. And then Tanaka. Ethan Ampadu across the back to Joe Rodon. Now Jaden Bogle. Held up, so goes back. Leeds prepared to be patient here as Norwich sit in. Solomon goes down as he went through between two players there. Was it Dobbin who caught him?
Dobbin stuck out a leg. I think Solomon just dived over it, but free kick was not given.
And quickly taken. Tanaka to Rothwell. And back again. Now Bogle. Runners down the right. James sets off. It comes into Piroe. Nice layoff for Tanaka. And then James has got to chase. I don't think he's going to get there. He's offside anyway. So he made the effort, all to no avail.
Well, so great speed getting there, but just the wrong side of the last defender, but good one-touch play.
Surely the offside was down somewhere by the byline, wasn't it? Not outside the penalty area. Anyway, game goes on.
To be fair, James is so quick that, you know, by the time you look up, that's where he started, yeah.
Back it comes for Doyle here. Back to the goalkeeper. Invites the pressure, perhaps. He knows James is quick, so Scottish international gets it away from the Welsh international. Sharpish. Ampadu can't take the ball off Schwartau. And Norwich, from the halfway line, pick up possession with Doyle now. And now Chrisene. And now Dobbin. Comes back in field. Brings Doyle back into the play again. Centre half to full back and back again. And McLean, experienced figure in the middle for Norwich. Seen a lot of him in these clashes down the recent seasons. Leeds having met Championship and Premier League level with Norwich in recent times. And of course in the playoff semi-final as well last season.
Yes, a draw at their place was followed by a comprehensive win here. Same again, it'd be nice.
Yep. Rothwell. At the moment, Leeds are just trying to find a way through. Having made that incredible start, things have just become a little stickier since. Bogle trying to do something about that with a lovely ball through for Piroe. Piroe on his left foot, scoops it forward. I think he slipped as he hit it then, didn't he? And it went straight up into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Really good play. I'd like to see them try to get the ball into Piroe's feet when they can. And Bogle plays an excellent ball, great touch as well. And just bounced off Callum Doyle.
Given straight to Sam Byram. So Byram can begin to move forward perhaps for Leeds United. Now Solomon just to his left, puts it into the penalty area. Piroe chests it down, turns and looks goalwards, puts it into the middle, into a good area as well. But there was nobody in there in a white shirt. Norwich are able to clear, at least temporarily, before Tanaka wins it back for Leeds United. Has Byram going out wide, but he comes back instead. Can't quite find the angle for the ball. Now Rothwell to his right to Bogle. Bogle midway inside the Norwich half. Back away now to Rothwell. Rothwell looks forward and then looks back and gives it to Rodon. Puts it through the middle for Aaronson. Bogle down the channel, great ball. Aaronson's made a run, keeper's come to meet him. And Aaronson went to slide in to try and make contact with it. Probably made contact with the goalkeeper accidentally. And the ball comes off Aaronson and goes behind for a goal kick.
The referee right on the spot pointed to a goal kick straight away, so clearly he saw what had happened, but excellent ball again from Bogle. Good run from Aaronson. And Gunn comes out really quickly and bravely. I think Aaronson's got every right to go for it as well, and just kind of the follow-through, wasn't it, that flicked up into the face. Yeah, it was just a little flick, wasn't it, the left boot into the face of Gunn.
Well, Gunn had to pull out as well, didn't he, because he was in some danger. Aaronson got the first touch, and Gunn had to pull his arm away to make sure that it wasn't deemed to be a foul on Aaronson. Two players meeting at high speed, basically, and both are okay. Gunn's back on his feet and ready to pick the ball up from a short goal kick and then go long into the Leeds half. Ampadu's header. Bogle heads it back into the middle, and it's just delivered up in the air from Doyle into Leeds territory. Norwich pick up the ball now in the Leeds half. Chrisene down the left-hand side. Dobbin just outside of him. Dobbin goes back to Doyle. Doyle through the middle. Gets the ball back. Not sure he's expecting it.
I'm not sure that was meant by Schwartau, but they retain possession at least.
Doyle again in his own half, this time on the ball. Chrisene just inside Leeds half. Goes back into the Norwich half of play. Right on the halfway line, Doyle just takes the option of giving it back to Duffy. And then on that far side, McLean comes in to help out. Again, Shane Duffy, straight ball. Well played out to the right-hand side. And there's a runner in on the edge of the penalty area. Cross comes in deep now. Well, Dobbin was arriving. He wasn't tall enough to get to what was an inviting ball into the area. Chrisene picks it up, and then Doyle puts it in, and it breaks to the player on the edge of the penalty area, Fisher. Fisher's shot is high over the crossbar.
Good play. Once they sweep it out to that right-hand side. Tracy put in an excellent ball. And you're right, Dobbin not quite tall enough to get this one at the back post. So, got to be careful. Showing moments of quality of Norwich.
Well, right from the outset here, they really had to have a go for it, haven't they? Having fallen behind so quickly. And they're showing a willingness to do that.
Yeah, you're right. They've responded well, haven't they? After that early setback, they've slowly worked themselves into the game. Still at times, I think, not quite kept it that well, but we haven't asked quite enough questions since our goal.
Leeds playing around on the edge of the penalty area with it, inviting a little bit of the ire of the home support perhaps, and then break forward. Aaronson can't get there from James' pass. Neither can Bogle. Dobbin rides the first challenge. Tanaka comes in with a second, and it goes off him and out for a Norwich City throw-in.
Yeah, our closing down is good. We hunt in packs, don't we, and do it well.
Ball is in the hands of the full-back, now released. Over the top, Rodon goes in to get there and give it back to Meslier. Not a big fan of Mellier's first touch, but the second clearance was long up into the Norwich half. We're in the 30th minute, Leeds United 1, Norwich City 0. Norwich with Doyle and Duffy combining before they go back, bring the goalkeeper Gunn into it. Duffy back to the keeper again. Oh, and it's gone wrong for Doyle. And it's picked up by Piroe on the edge of the penalty area. And then, Rothwell tried to stab a pass, disguise ball into Mana Solomon, but it was intercepted. Well, that's what it can do, isn't it? That's what it can cause. You just got a sense that they were getting more and more uncertain as to where the ball was going to go next as Leeds players arrived in numbers.
Yeah, and you always thought, even before this game, that, you know, without high press, how well we do it. We're going to get a chance or two, and can we take advantage of their mistakes?
Good tackle from Ampadu to win the ball for Leeds in a midfield battle. Now Rodon out to Bogle. That challenge has just lifted the noise levels here. Bogle into Aaronson. Aaronson dawdled a little. I'm not sure what he's trying to do with it, moving the ball one side to the other there. He lost it anyway. Norwich back in Leeds half. And Dan James is penalised for his challenge, even though even before he'd made the challenge he was basically saying, I'm not going to foul him. He had his arms raised in the air as if to protest innocence before the event. The referee didn't see it that way. Free kick was given and it's taken.
I think Callum Doyle talking to his manager. I mean, it must be difficult when you are asked to play, you know, a certain way, but once the confidence starts to go a bit, or you start making a mistake or two, that's questioned.
When every bone in your body as a centre-half says, kick it away.
Launch it long. No, listen, they have a way of playing, and they need to try and beat that first press, and then they'll get their reward. But at the moment, the risk-reward factor is not going Norwich's way.
Chrisene Norwich playing in the Leeds half. Schwartau now, the young Dane. McLean. Duffy stepping up into Leeds half. Now Doyle. Forward to Fisher. Spins the ball out to this near side to Dobbin. Back to Chrisene. And Doyle on the halfway line. Goes with a long diagonal. Quite sure if he knew where that was going to end up, but he did find a teammate over on that far touchline. Norwich still have the ball with Doyle. Now he goes to a long ball through the middle. Meslier, though, allows everyone else to know that he's going to take control of the situation. Gathers the ball in, rolls it out. Straight ball from Ampadu to Rothwell. Huge noise around Ellen Road. Piroe back into his own half to Ampadu. Rodon. Now Tanaka. Good play to Rothwell. And now down the left side to Mana Solomon. Takes it up to the edge of the penalty area. Solomon stops, goes back to Rothwell. Rothwell turns back, gives it to Solomon again. Solomon comes past the first challenge. Now played into Tanaka on the edge of the box. Tees it up for Dan James. James out wide to the right side to Bogle. Bogle back into Dan James. James running to the edge of the penalty area. And it runs through the legs there of Brendan Aaronson. And Piroe had set off, but not quite early enough to pick it up on the other side. And it's picked up instead by the Norwich keeper.
Unfortunately, Aaronson kind of got there quickly, but the ball came to him even quicker. Couldn't go out and get his feet sorted, and the chance went.
Gunn rolls it out to Duffy, and then Fisher puts it up towards the halfway line. Byram in a battle with Hernandez over there. The ball goes out of play off Sam Byram for a Norwich City throw-in.
There's been a decent outlet, Hernandez on that right-hand side, and when they do get it on this left, they like to switch play. We've seen certainly Callum Doyle do that a couple of times.
Back it comes into the Norwich penalty area. And Angus Gunn just pushes it out the box to Doyle. Edge of the area to Duffy. Piroe's closed him down. Doyle then rather hurries his ball forward. I guess that's the, well, as we often discuss, that's the alternative potentially, isn't it? Just a long ball pumped forward, which is easily picked up by the opposition. And possession is handed over.
Yeah, and you're giving away control. And of course, Norwich want to be in control. And against a lot of teams, they have more possession than their opponent, but we know all about that, don't we?
Piroe to Rothwell. Now out to this right-hand side. He's found James in space just outside the penalty area. Into the box he goes. He tries a shot. An early shot really there, Dan James, and it just swung off, I think, the outside of the boot and swung away from the post as a result.
Wasn't a bad idea because he caught everyone napping, took it nice and early, but better would have been back across the keeper. Just attacks the defenders. That's what I like to see.
Gunn plays it, goes underneath the foot of Duffy, but there was nobody waiting beyond him, so he plays it forward. It goes into touch off Hernandez. Byram to take the throw-in for Leeds. Short to Rothwell. And back into his own half to Ampadu. Now Rodon. 10 minutes to go and under in this first period. Just the one goal in it. Scored inside the first minute. Rothwell for Leeds on the halfway line. Tanaka back to Rothwell. And now Ampadu. Rodon push wide to Bogle. Now Ampadu. Tanaka. Rodon plays it on to Aaronson, who found space well. Now good ball into the path of Dan James to cross to the edge of the penalty area where Solomon was arriving again, but this time the midfielder had got a cross in front of him and made sure he cleared the ball. Leeds win it back well with Bogle just outside the penalty area, going for the byline, cuts the ball back into the middle, loops up past the far post. Gunn was lost and all at sea there, and it went just beyond the post and out for a Leeds corner.
Oh, excellent play again. Down this right-hand side, you can see Solomon was picked out really well in that high press. Once we recover the ball, yet again, almost produces a goal. Nearly popped into that far corner.
So Leeds with the corner, Rothwell to take it. Again, Solomon is there short, probably isn't going to get used. And it goes high towards the far side of the box, where Byram was waiting, but he doesn't get there first. James is underneath it now. James pushed out towards the near side touchline. Now he turns the other way, back to Byram. Byram under pressure goes back to Rodon. Helps it on to Bogle in the centre circle. And he's happy to go back to Meslier. Comes out to Rodon. Forward to Byram. A little push in the back of Sam Byram. A daft challenge from Schwartau, really. And an easy free kick, soft free kick for Leeds.
Byram kind of invited him, go on, push me in the back, give me a foul, get me out of this situation.
And he did.
Yep, thank you.
Rodon to Ampadu. Tanaka to Rothwell. Now there's space down the left for Bogle. Double check. The two fullbacks have switched, presumably temporarily. Leeds have won a corner. There's Solomon trying to get on the end of the ball, push behind.
Yeah, sometimes you find yourself from set pieces in different areas of the pitch, so if it's quicker just to stay where you are, that's what happened with the fullbacks there.
Leeds take a short corner this time. Solomon on the ball. Comes back for Rothwell as to stretch to try and control it. Wasn't really the pass he wanted. And now Leeds are just inside the Norwich half. James. Not the ball that Piroe was going to do much with. So Rodon comes in to collect it in his own half. And it comes back for Meslier, who comes forward to Rothwell. Joe Rothwell into the path of Byram, who's able to advance down the left-hand side. Solomon just to his left. And it goes to Solomon now. Solomon to the edge of the penalty area, short ball to Aaronson, goes back to Solomon, brings it out of the crowd to Rothwell, and now Ampadu. Tanaka does really well in possession there. He was quickly closed down, but he kept the ball in under control, and now Leeds come with Solomon, riding a couple of challenges, plays it through the middle for Piroe. He does the same as well, and then plays it out to Byram. Byram just tucks it back on the edge of the area. Well, he actually goes and picks up his own pass because the flag was raised, and I think they realised that as Aaronson, was it Aaronson who was off there?
I think it might have been Byram himself trying to come back, but it was good play. And when he got into Piroe, just nice feet to keep it moving out to the left-hand side, but just see Byram at the top of the picture, just straying that yard offside.
So we're inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. Just the one goal separates these two teams. Norwich are having a little discussion out there about something. They're ahead of taking the free kick for the offside.
And after conceding so early, they'll be delighted to get in at half-time, just the 1-0 down, and to regroup, which is why all these kind of set pieces, stoppages, it's ideal for them just to take their time.
Long ball played forward into the Leeds half. Byram's header is a little loose. Tanaka does well, does really well to get it to Dan James. Held off a couple of hard challenges and played the pass as well. And then the ball, Solomon, did he take his eye off it? Because it bounced beyond Stacey, the fullback.
Well, actually, Stacey, for some reason, ducked out of it. That's why Solomon didn't believe that the ball was coming to him, because all the defender needed to do was kind of head it back instead. He let it go.
So he was lucky that Solomon was foxed by that one, didn't carry on going. Norwich ended up with a throw-in, which they take now. Byram with a header back. And then James picks it up just on the edge of the centre circle for Leeds. Gives it to Tanaka. Again, neat and tidy in possession. Keeps the ball, makes the pass. Rothwell has it to Tanaka. And then short to Aaronson, and Rothwell to the halfway line to Rodon. Bogle waits out to his right, and he gets the ball now, and James inevitably sets off, but it comes back instead to Rodon. and then all the way back to the edge of the area, and Meslier, who passes it forward to Ampadu, to his left to Rothwell. The runners set off and stop. Solomon has it, just in from the touchline. Comes back for Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu spreads the play wide to Bogle. Now James. James in from the touchline, 3 in front of him, but he works it past them to Aaronson. And then Aaronson can't quite keep the ball under control, and it comes off him for a Norwich throw. Played into the penalty area where Duffy waits and goes back to the goalkeeper. And Gunn realised that Piroe was arriving fast, got clear of the ball, and then Byram is pushed over as he was high in the air by Hernandez, and that will be a free kick to Leeds, almost mid-position in the Norwich half.
Similar situation where Byram actually got booked with the flight outfoxed him that time. He certainly was going to get there first, apart from a push from Hernandez.
Leeds take the free kick, go backwards with it. And now they have it with Byram down the channel, looking for the forward run of Piroe. It's not getting there. It's cleared away. Ampadu underneath it, wins it, chips it up onto the chest of Aaronson, sweeps it wide, but Solomon hadn't gone into that position. So it's cleared into touch, into the midst of those in the east stand. And Leeds will have a throw in pretty much on the halfway line.
I've just got a feeling at half-time, Daniel Farke's going to have plenty to say, because after getting our goal so early, I'm not sure we've played really at the highest of tempos. That's what he'll be, I think, disappointed about.
I think he had quite a bit to say after the Sheffield Wednesday game, having watched it back again. Maybe that was a similar discussion with the players about intensity levels and pushing hard to get the next one.
I think you just feel, don't you, that Norwich are there, aren't they, for the taking? But we've got to go and ask those questions, and that second goal hasn't come yet. Have we done it enough? And that's why the pace needs to be high, because you'll get your reward, back end of the second half, as we do so often.
James, it's behind Aaronson. Maybe indicative of the little moments in breakdown when Leeds are trying to move the ball quickly forward. Gunn gets the ball onto the chest of Chrisene, the full-back. And then it's turned back towards the edge of his own penalty area by Marcondes. Back to the keeper it goes. Now Dan James will take a chance here. So Gunn clears quickly onto the head of Ampadu. And it comes down. It's Chrisene underneath it. And then now Duffy, who's been given the ball. And to his right it goes, and Stacey up and over the halfway line. Hernandez into his own half again to Duffy. Across the back to Doyle. And now the board is going to go up to tell us that there are 2 added minutes. Norwich in possession in their own half. Duffy and Doyle swapping passes. Now Stacey to his right. Stacey plays a long one forward. Bogle gets in to intercept. James will try and get himself underneath this one. He gets the touch to it. He gets the second touch. And now he gives it to Tanaka. And Tanaka to Rothwell. Leeds can press here with Solomon just outside the penalty area. Mana Solomon to Byram. Byram puts it into the middle. It's cleared out towards the edge of the box. It wasn't a bad ball in from Sam Byram. Comes out for Ampadu. He's not going to shoot. Instead, it's Tanaka who plays it into Bogle on the volley. And it's turned behind by Gunn. You have to wonder and wish, because that would have been a heck of a goal.
Certainly would have done. That was a lot better, wasn't it? Good play down that left-hand side. When it comes back to Tanaka, excellent ball to Bogle and say, go on, just volley me. Could he volleyed it back across? Piroe, I think, was waiting in the centre, possibly to tap it in, but even so, great control. And Gunn got to stop it hitting that post.
So Leeds, in the final few seconds of the first half, have a last opportunity perhaps to get something more. Scored in the first minute. Can they do it in the last minute? And it goes from Rothwell over the head of Rodon, bouncing on the penalty spot. Big shouts for a penalty in there. I'm not sure. Well, there's a little bit of argy-bargy in the aftermath involving Ampadu.
Marcondes.
And Marcondes, yeah. It's all calmed down now. Something happened in the midst of that the fans behind the goal call for sure.
Ampadu got into a right tangle with someone. You can see that hands are kind of all over him. Oh,
he got flattened, didn't he?
He did, and did he get pulled back from behind?
Well, that's the last action of the first half. It began explosively with Leeds United sweeping forward and scoring inside 45 seconds through Mana Solomon. After that, the game has been more of an even contest, and although Leeds have always looked more likely, Norwich have had a couple of moments as well. So, as we've said on previous occasions, there's work to still be done here. Half-time scorelines: Leeds 1, Norwich 0.
Yes, and you always have to be pleased once you are 1-0 up at half-time. However, after scoring so early, I think Norwich actually responded pretty well. But as the half then wore on, I thought we gained the upper hand. We got more and more control, but didn't really ask quite enough questions. I'm sure Daniel Farke will want a bit more intensity. He'll want that second goal and a bit more dominance. But at the moment, we're looking okay. But you're right, let's step it up a level and get this game sorted. Let's get it sorted.
Half-time scoreline: Leeds United 1, Norwich City 0. And now we are all set for the game to get going. Again, Matthew Donoghue, the referee, blasts on the whistle. Two teams as they were. Rothwell with the ball forward to Byram. And back it goes to Ethan Ampadu. Across the back to Joe Rodon. Returns the ball to Ampadu. Now Byram down the Leeds left. Carrying the ball forward. Puts it into the path of Solomon. Given quite a lot to do there. Stacey intercepted. Byram gets it back. Stacey in again to intercept. Schwartau and Tanaka comes in to take the ball off his toes. And then thought about looking back to Ampadu and then stops and wonders whether there might be a forward ball he can play, and then ultimately decides, no, I'll go back to Ampadu after all.
Yeah, and I think just the way Norwich press, you can see that they're trying to keep as compact as they can.
James rides a challenge, but the pass is a little short of Bogle. Leeds still end up with a throw-in. Bogle goes back into his own half to Ampadu. Sam Byram to Ampadu again. Tanaka. And Byram. And now Joe Rodon. To Bogle. Back to Rodon. Under a bit of pressure. Comes back to Ampadu. Ethan Ampadu. Side-footed ball across the turf to Bogle. Plays it straight into the path of the Norwich player, Marcondes, so as to go and win it back for Leeds again. Now Tanaka. Tanaka looks to his left and plays it into the path of Sam Byram, who can take it forward if he wants to here. Elects to hold it up on the halfway line and give it to Solomon instead. Tanaka back to Solomon. Solomon really has looked like the player to get things going for Leeds in the last couple of matches.
Yes, he has, but you want him in the last third, not around the halfway line.
And that's exactly where he is, and he's onside now, moving up to the edge of the penalty area. Plays it into Tanaka, tries to get it under control. There's a crowd of players in front of him. Couldn't tuck it back for Solomon sufficiently. Ampadu has to go and defend it. He gives it all the way back into his own half to Meslier. Meslier, in fairness, is a long way out of the penalty area. And so Leeds are on the edge of the centre circle and now in the Norwich half quickly with Bogle. Out to the right side and James. On it goes. Good ball to Aaronson. Aaronson just turns it into the middle. And it's cleared into touch for a Leeds United throw-in. Good movement there from Brendan Aaronson.
Certainly was, and just trying to get it into that danger area. Didn't need to look up. The defender was well positioned.
Bogle can't control off Aaronson. It goes out for a Norwich throw. And it's the away side with the chance to throw it up the line and away from the away penalty area. Chrisene taking a moment. Bogle steps in and makes an interception for Leeds. Tanaka back to Bogle. Again, not for the first time. He's played it straight to Marcondes, but he can't control it. It goes out for a throw-in.
Well, he's trying to get the ball into the feet of Piroe. We saw in the first half a couple of times he played excellent balls angled into his feet. Marcondes this time has, I think, got the message at half-time to just block that one.
So maybe plan B required as James down the far touchline helps it on to Bogle in a bit of space. Comes back to him off the defender. Comes in to James, short back to Bogle again. James sets off. Bogle comes in field, stops, turns it back to Rodon. Norwich closing the gaps there. Rothwell through the middle for Leeds United now. Back it goes to Rodon, into the centre circle to Ampadu. Solomon has space down the left, but he's a long way from the penalty area currently. Edging closer now, comes in field with it, gives it back to Ampadu. Ampadu to Tanaka. Curls a ball out for Dan James on the far touchline. Drops perfectly for James to take it under control. His pass is under hit though and doesn't find Solomon. And Tanaka goes in. Oh, no, he's caught. Tanaka has caught his opponent there, who stayed down. Now the game is going on. The concern will be, what does the referee do? Well, he's going to stop play for, I think it's a second foul in there.
Yeah. So the foul Tanaka on Marcondes was the first one, and he is staying down. Remember, it wasn't a great challenge either. He's missed the ball.
Tanaka booked in the first half, early in the first half. It would appear, well, let's see what the referee does after he's gone to check on the injured player. Marcondes, now he's walking back into the Leeds half. Marcondes actually stayed down, but is now back on his feet. The referee is
going to call him.
Calling Tanaka towards him here. Now this is a big moment. He's offering his apologies.
I think it's the last warning.
Now Tanaka, and it has to be a last warning, doesn't it? Because down below, the Norwich coaching staff are unhappy.
And to be fair, I can see why, because that, I know it's the wrong way to look at it, but I think if that's Tanaka not on a yellow card, that is a yellow card offence.
So Leeds have survived a nervy call there, but they still have to defend a free kick in the Leeds half. Pushed out wide. Comes back in for the ball into the penalty area on the edge of the box. Bogle heads it away. Doyle back into his own half to give the ball to Stacey. Doyle again back into Stacey, still in Norwich territory, and he turns back and goes back to the goalkeeper, so Leeds can move out as a unit to the halfway line. Bogle has won the header, but there's a free kick for offside there anyway. Now Leeds are making changes, and not surprisingly, I'm sure Tanaka is going to be one of those heading towards the dugout here.
Yeah, again, I don't think there's any point in just taking risks. Simple as that. When you've got obviously Byram on a yellow, Tanaka on a yellow, you've got Firpo and Gruev on the bench, and of course they need minutes. Excellent players in their own right. Makes a lot of sense.
Byram still continuing for the time being because the ball is in play, so the changes can't yet be made. Tanaka be really unhappy, I'm sure, to come off. He's a player who seems to love playing. The decision has probably been forced upon the manager there. Leeds concede a throw-in in the Norwich half. Tanaka has to stay away as the ball was run in front of him. Fisher in possession. Now Duffy. Fisher again. Back to Duffy. And then short ball to Doyle. Wide to his left-hand side to Stacey. Back into his own half to Doyle. Now Duffy once more, midway inside the Norwich half. Thinks about going long and then just plays it short instead to Marcondes. Leeds beginning to hunt a little higher up now as Aaronson sniffs around. James does as well, so it goes back to Gunn, and Norwich retreat further. Out the box it comes. Oh, there's a slip, and it's gone to Piroe, and Piroe's in the penalty area, and he shoots, and the goalkeeper, via a deflection, is able to push that one behind. You sensed it was coming, and Norwich almost paid the price.
Well, that's a good save, but Norwich are really good at keeping the ball going backwards and then making a mistake. And they did it then, and we didn't quite take advantage of it.
Changes being made now, as predicted. Byram and Tanaka coming off. Firpo and Gruev coming on. Huge ovation for Tanaka. So Gruev back into the action. It's a little bit of a longer run out in this game. Goes straight into the penalty area for this Leeds United corner. Leeds having just had their best opportunity of the second half in the 55th minute now. Rothwell into the penalty area, headed a long way clear. Hernandez, James and Aaronson all involved in the chase for the ball. James and Aaronson both got touches. Aronson's the final touch, so it's out for a Norwich throw-in. Back across the penalty area, Duffy. There was almost confusion between defender and goalkeeper there.
Angus Gunn was not convinced that it was his ball.
Well, he's had the ball back again here now. And then Doyle plays a straight ball. It's almost won by Bogle, but not quite. So actually it's worked for Norwich because they now cross the halfway line. Bogle's had to get back into a defensive position. Back it comes to Doyle, get into them. The crowd chant at one end of the ground here. Fisher for Norwich to Stacey. Back it goes to Duffy. And then Doyle. And out to the far touchline. Marcondes, intercepted by Gruev, but he plays the ball into touch for a throw-in. Back it goes in to the Norwich half, to Doyle. Now Fisher. Gruev with a challenge. Oh, a little unlucky perhaps, that's called a foul. So Norwich have a free kick, what was it, 15, 20 yards inside their lead half. Well, they've taken it quickly from the position nowhere near where the foul was. I'm happy just to have the ball and keep possession. Duffy to Doyle. Leeds chasing. Doyle goes long. And the ball goes out. Bounces away from Dobbin. And Leeds have a throw-in, which they take Bogle back to Rodon. Doyle wins the header back into the Leeds half. Picked up by Hernandez. Gives it short to Fisher. Fisher putting it over the top. Firpo's intercepting header. Now Firpo's gone on a run as Solomon picks it up, and Firpo's given the ball on this near side. Just stops a little, gives it back into the path of Manor Solomon. Now Aaronson, now Firpo. Players arriving in the middle. If he could put it in there, well, he tried, but Stacey came across him and turned it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, Firpo tries to get in there first time because Dan James, like a steam train on the far side, was getting into the box. Good defending the end from Norwich, but it just feels similarities to the game at the weekend, doesn't it, where we're one up and just can't quite put it to bed. Opposition's got a bit of life in it, but we need that second goal.
Sargent and Cernats are coming on for Norwich shortly. Two players who they'll put on up front. Leeds have a corner. And again, obviously, Rothwell takes it. Curled in, nice shape on that. Rodon, well, he rose well, but it's come all the way back out to Rothwell. And then the flag is raised because presumably Rothwell was offside when the ball came back to him. And that would be a Norwich free kick. So Norwich make their changes now. Hernandez is coming off. And Cernats is coming on to replace him.
Just see there, Rothwell not quite back on side in time.
Schwartau, the teenager, is being replaced by the much more experienced American international, Josh Sargent.
Who clearly isn't 100% fit, because if he was, he would have started. Schwartau didn't do a lot up top there, ran around a bit, but didn't get hold of the ball, whereas Sargent, different proposition, so you have to be careful with him.
Norwich free kick. Duffy takes it. Headed in field by Sanats. Sargent manages to get the ball to his left. Bogle comes in well, does a good job in winning it back for Leeds, and then he's fouled, and he's heavily involved in all the action there, Jaden Bogle, to win it back and then try and move it forward. Brought down for a free kick.
Yeah, tidy one-touch play. Lots of Norwich players around him, but good spin away from trouble.
Bogle on the ball on Leeds' right. Back it comes to Rodon. At the hour mark in this game. Still just one in it. Bogle, again, the ball is easily cut out as he tries to go through the middle. Sargent spreads it to his right to Stacey to cross the halfway line. Back into his own half to Duffy. Centre circle is McLean. And then it goes out to the left-hand side, and Norwich are in the Leeds half briefly before it comes back into Doyle. Now Duffy. He goes over the top, but there's no one in a Norwich shirt anywhere close to that one. Meslier's let the ball bounce just outside the area and then brings it back in before picking it up. Thinks about rolling it one way, rolls it to Rodon instead. It goes wide to his right to Bogle. Gruev. Now again Gruev. Nice ball onto Piroe. First touch Joel Pirou's had for a little while.
Yeah, got to try and get him involved in the game, but further up the pitch.
Here's Firpo on the way forward to Solomon. Solomon's still on the ball here. Looking for a pass. Oh, Piroe had left the position in which the ball arrived a moment earlier. Leeds lose the possession, and then Norwich run it straight into touch themselves for Leeds throw-in.
It's just pressure, simple as that. No easy ball, no options on. And there we saw the defender kind of look up and then miss kick.
Bogle with the throw-in for Leeds. Aaronson couldn't get it forwards, cleared long into the Leeds half. Ampadu underneath it, nodded back by Rothwell to Rodon. Rodon goes back to the goalkeeper Meslier. Meslier goes long with the ball over the top. Piroe beaten by Duffy. Solomon underneath the second ball, going back into his own half. Runs it out, but surely that was a throw-in. It's given the other way. Much to the consternation of the crowd and Daniel Farker, who was literally a yard away from it.
Just got to reset, important part of the game.
McLean for Norwich. Now Sanats. On it goes for the fullback Stacey. And it's come off Firpo's challenge and gone behind for a Norwich City corner.
Stacey with a good run down this right-hand side. Firpo saw it all the way, but had to slide at the very end to make sure the ball didn't get across, but corner kick. Another one for us to defend.
McLean comes forward and he will take the corner for Norwich. Norwich have sent guys, the big guys, up into the penalty area. Jostling in there as it goes into the far side of the box. The referee spotted something he doesn't like and he's blown his whistle, and Leeds will have a free kick.
Well, we'll take that. Although we won the header anyway. I think it was Rodon going backwards to get there first. So much pushing and shoving.
Not sure what it was given for. but it was given. Rodon. Across the edge of the area to Ampadu. And Firpo goes back to Ampadu. Firpo again. Going on a bit of a run. Still going. Plays a lovely ball into the path of Solomon. Solomon on the edge of the area. Plays it back to Firpo in space. Turns it back into the middle to put it up in the air. James underneath it, the header down and right in front of goal. Aaronson, well, it's kept in play and it's come back for Solomon to put it back in the middle again. Far post waiting!
Yes.
Here's Dan James! And he waits and it drops and he puts it in the back of the net. And this time it's Solomon with the assist and James with the finish. And it's Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0.
What a finish. What a finish that is. Excellent play, actually initially from Firpo down the left-hand side to break away. And eventually it comes out to Solomon. It's an excellent cross, pinpoint from this left-hand side. And goes all the way through. The angle is tight as well. Here's where it didn't go out. The first chance was for Aaronson. Fisher decides to keep it in. That was a mistake. Because what about this ball? Superb. And then side foot back across the keeper, hard and low. And just look at Angus Gunn. He takes his weight from that post over there. He's going back the other way before he can get down. It's past him. Great finish from Dan James.
Put it in the perfect position. That was not an easy finish.
No, not at all.
And credit Solomon with a wonderful ball and credit James with a wonderful finish. Proving to be a fruitful combination for
It certainly
Leeds
is. I think there's only a couple of players on the bench and Gnonto and Ramazani are going, oh, done. However, I'm sure they're delighted for their teammates and their team because it's certainly a team game and 2-0 up feels a very different scoreline now.
Here's Aaronson. Happy to go back, even though the crowd probably wanted him to go forwards. Firpo played a big part in that, just with that driving run forward. That's it, the momentum switch, isn't it? Shift. Rothwell trying to do something similar now. Going through the middle, lays it off for Bogle. Edge of the area, shoots! Gunn pours it away. And it's helped out the penalty area as far as James. James plays it back into the box. Piroe was waiting. Duffy beat him in the air. Helped out by Sanats to Rodon. And then out to Ampadu. Leeds have kept men forward as Firpo, under a bit of pressure, needs to keep possession as a priority, and he does that to Ampadu. And now Rodon. Now Gruev in the centre circle. Goes wide to Bogle. James on the touchline for Leeds United. Into the centre circle, it's played to Ampadu. Solomon. What an important player he's becoming for Leeds United.
He certainly has, and the first few games that he played, I thought, wow, he is some player, but then that injury just set him back and took him a little while to get going, but wow, he's going now.
Now he's going. Firpo and he on the edge of the penalty area try and combine to get the ball in, and then an offside flag is raised for a moment earlier. And Solomon just gone beyond the line. Norwich take a quick free kick. It goes back to the goalkeeper Gunn, and it's still in the penalty area as James was herring in towards him, and Doyle only now plays it out the box. And it's Chrisene with a long crossfield run, but then he puts the ball behind Fisher. Solomon looking maybe a little tired as he was chasing that one back. Intensity of the championship programme. Sunday, Wednesday games. All at full tilt. When you haven't played a lot of football in the year previously.
Yeah, and that's why obviously the injury early in the season was because of exactly that, so I had to be gentle with him coming back, but he's just playing so well it's hard to do without him. However, we do have two excellent wingers on the bench.
One of whom I think might be about to come on now, because right on cue, as if they'd heard Tony down below, the signal has been given to bring Ramazani back from his warm-up to get ready, and Gnonto as well. Firpo to Solomon. Gruev. In it goes to Solomon. Hit at him rather than to him. Can't control it. Stacey goes back to the keeper. Piroe tries his luck. Gunn puts it over the head of James. And then Bogle is bamboozled with the somewhat fortuitous ball out from Chrisene. And then James goes in against the fullback and he wins it off him. Second challenge from Doyle keeps Dan James away from goal. Ampadu, nice play. Controls it, strides forward, and just keeps the ball for Leeds United. Rothwell to Bogle. 20 minutes remaining, just over. Norwich making more changes here as well. Aaronson to his right, to James. Played in for Aaronson, continued his forward run. Takes it away from goal, still with the ball at his feet. Doyle on his back. Puts it back behind Bogle, as it turns out, but Rodon's waiting to pick it up there. Now Rothwell, Ampadu, and Gruev. Norwich about to make a couple more changes. A very young bench, Norwich, as they're delving into the under-21 ranks. So we're going to see a couple of them coming on shortly. Ampadu from Solomon to Rodon. Now Gruev. Junior Firpo. Joe Rothwell right on the centre spot. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side to Jayden Bogle. James has gone on a good run and he's got the ball off Bogle now. Down the edge of the penalty area. Dan James holds it, moves into the box, skips in between challenges, puts it into the middle. Bogle has a crack from 10 yards out. Comes out for Rothwell. Rothwell goes, oh, he's gone down in the box. And the referee says,
yeah.
Oh, dive.
I actually think the referee's right. I think he saw the challenge, didn't need to. He was falling before, I think, he actually got connected with by the defender. It was a great run, really was. And he's through. From that angle, you can't see. I think this is a better angle. Does he go down? He's falling down so early. Didn't need to, because it might have been actually a penalty, because once you put your foot out there, but just the way that he fell down early was the problem.
The clever boys draw the touch there, don't they? But
they do. He could have just waited a millisecond, because the ball was actually passed and the defender had made his challenge as well, so unfortunate.
So the Norwich changes are being made now. Mahovo is coming on and Elliot Miles is coming on. Fisher is one of those who's gone off, and Chrisene as well. Now Leeds are also making a couple of changes, not just yet. Gnonto and Ramazani are both ready to go.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Solomon's been superb, and Dan James as well, absolutely fantastic. Just the tenacity and attitude of Dan James is wonderful. We know his attacking abilities, but just getting back and closing down as well makes such a difference.
Norwich in possession in their own half. Doyle forced back to the goalkeeper Gunn. Aaronson's lively and chasing. Gets it out to Doyle again. James is, look at that, he's won it back again for Leeds.
Of course he has.
Now Rothwell in space in the middle. Good ball out wide to Bogle. Making his way further forward, Jayden Bogle. Still somehow going. Gets a final touch to it as the ball spins back into the path of Gruev. To his right, down the line to James, and then Aaronson. Bogle can't quite get beyond the defender, who's hooked it out towards the far touchline, and then it duly goes into touch for a Leeds throw in, almost up by the corner flag. Bogle maybe just got a little knock there. Changes being made by Leeds United now. So Mana Solomon is the first to be called back to the dugout, and the home supporters stand and applaud him on his way. And he's being followed by Dan James, who is getting exactly the same reception. The two goal scorers depart.
Job done, both of them. Superb. And that's using the strengths of our squad as well. You've managed to get rid of those two off the pitch, and look who's come on.
So the two new attackers go straight up to the edge of that, or into that Norwich penalty area. Gnonto recently celebrated 100 appearances. He's on the ball now. He's back on the halfway line with Ampadu. He'll be back even further with Meslier now. Out it goes to Joe Rodon. Pushes it into the path of Bogle. It's right on the touchline. Played through the middle for the Gnonto run. He'll keep going here. Fresh legs. And Gunn clears it away just before he gets there. Rothwell wins a good header in the midfield. Piroe cushions it back to Rothwell. Firpo can't keep that one in play. Joe Rothwell's pass slightly overhit. He's frustrated with himself, the midfielder. And Norwich have a throw in down below, just inside their own half. Stacey stabs it back to Duffy under pressure. And then back into Gunn in the penalty area. This time he has a little bit more time to pass to Doyle. And then McLean, who's come deep to pick up between the two central defenders. Marcondes. Back it comes in to Doyle and Duffy. Now Aaronson steps forward. He's played past him and into the midfield. Firpo, well, he'd gone in initially, a foul was committed, then he actually did win the ball, but the referee spotted the foul and gave the free kick, and it's out quickly to this right side, and the ball is on the edge of the penalty area. In fact, the challenge coming in from Ampadu was a good one, and he's maybe hurt himself in the process because he just blocked off the cross from Jack Stacey, and it's gone behind for a Norwich corner. Rodon goes to check that his pal's okay.
Oh, excellent work. Ramazani got beaten there, sleeping. Stacey gets in a good position, but Ampadu quickly read where the danger was, just to follow through. He caught Ampadu, he's fine.
So Leeds have defending to do here now. Norwich with this corner kick. Plenty of jumping up and down and jostling in that 6-yard box. Dropped in the near post. It's up in the air. Meslier's underneath it. Punches hard. Gets the ball well out the penalty area. Bogle races to try and keep it in play, but can't quite get there in time. Norwich have a throw in. Pretty much level with the edge of the Leeds box. Meslier did well to come through a crowd and get good contact on the ball there.
And that time was a good decision. Right thing to do. Punch and get it out.
Norwich in possession just inside the Leeds half. McLean from right to left to Doyle. And then out to the left-hand side for the sub, who tucks it back into the path of Marcondes. And now Duffy in the centre circle. Doyle still playing in the Leeds half. On the ball again, halfway line this time. Back it goes a little way to Duffy. Now Leeds start to try and pressure the man, send Norwich further back into their own half. And that's what happens now, as Doyle has to turn back to get the ball and gives it square to Duffy. He's able to just roll it into the midfield to Marcondes. Over the top from Marcondes. It's an easy one for Meslier to come and gather on the edge of the penalty area. And then roll out to Ampadu. Now Firpo. Rothwell pursued by McLean, so he goes back to Ampadu, who's under a bit of pressure, so he just puts it long. Piroe can't quite get there. Leaves one on Duffy in the process. Quickly back on his feet. Now Stacey loses out to Ramazani. Ball in to Aaronson. Aaronson needs to keep possession here, which he does. He gives it to Rodon.
That time better from Ramazani, and great to keep the ball like Aaronson did there.
Long ball onto the head of Duffy. Stacey underneath it. Firpo, little drag back again. A bit obvious from Junior Firpo.
Yeah, didn't need to grab his shirt. He's
just
going nowhere.
him in.
He's going backwards. He's got the problem.
Norwich in the middle of their own half. Doyle and Duffy combine once more. And Marcondes in between them. Now Doyle stepping up to the halfway line. Sargent lays it off, intercepted by Bogle. Gnonto can't get it off Sargent. Comes back into his own half. McLean, the captain. Runs parallel with the halfway line, gives it to Duffy. Duffy goes back to Doyle. Piroe just in front of him. Doyle back to Duffy again. Out to this near side, and Stacey up the line it goes. And then Ramazani just puts a foot in as Dobbin was running back into his own half, and it's out for a Norwich throw-in, which goes back to Duffy. McLean. Now Doyle. Duffy and Doyle are seeing an awful lot of the ball.
They are. They can't really find their way through the thirds of the pitch very well at all.
Norwich, though, attacking Leeds now with the ball on the right side of the penalty area. And a little bit of space for the chip into the middle, and it's bobbling around, and it needs defending by Bogle. Gets it out the box. An anxious moment for Leeds there as it came into the penalty area, bounced across towards the far side. And Norwich have it back again. Leeds struggling for any kind of possession in their midfield at the moment. Ball is flicked out wide to the left side, level with the edge of the Leeds box. Mahovo comes back, and now McLean will cross into the penalty area, headed away by diving Ethan Ampadu. And the header down by Piroe drops short, and Norwich have it in the penalty area again. Good touch by Ramazani, and again, great defensive work by Ramazani. And then a foul that will draw a yellow card. That's really good work by Ramazani, because Dobbin was threatening Leeds there, and Ramazani, not once but twice, just got a little vital toe in and then came away with the ball.
Excellent. Farke will be delighted with that play from Ramazani. Of course, he fell asleep, allowing his fullback up the right-hand side earlier, but since then, he's been on it. And that was a good piece of play.
Inside the final 10 minutes, card shown to Dobbin. Leeds free kick taken by Ampadu. And now Gruev back to Ampadu. Meslier gives the ball to Rodon. Forward to Aaronson. Wide to Bogle. Now on to Gnonto, just ahead of Gnonto. Doyle gets across first. Doyle back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Foul against Bogle on the edge of the box there. And Norwich are able to get the ball back under control for this free kick, which they've taken now. Duffy into the path of Stacey. Gets the ball in field, and then Ramazani tracked back well and just let that one run out and across his body, knowing it was going for a Leeds throw-in.
Yeah, it's just good pressure, simple as that, all over the pitch. Just don't allow Norwich any easy balls, don't let them settle, put them under pressure to make a mistake, and that's what they did.
Throw-in still to be taken by junior Firpo. Goes long to Piroe. Bit of space in front of Jayden Bogle here now as Norwich followed the ball. Leeds go to the right. Gnonto, where he wants it, just in front of him. Taking on the fullback up to the edge of the penalty area. He's done well, the fullback, in fairness there. Mahovo stayed calm, took it off Willie Gnonto. And the ball is cleared up into the Leeds half. Ampadu just bounced one into the path of Meslier, who had actually come away out of his penalty area. And yes, it was fine. Of course, exactly. It was fine. Meslier keeps the ball on the edge of the box. Tells players to get forward. Gnonto heads it down into the path of Aaronson. Now Leeds can set off with Bogle on the ball down the right side of the penalty area. Bogle held up by Mahovo. Comes back in field though still. Jayden Bogle. Level with the edge of the box. Ramazani. stumbles on the ball, gets it back again, clips it up out to this near side where Firpo will make a run forward and collect it by the corner flag and win a throw-in off Stacey. And he'll stay forward to take that throw-in as well, bound by the corner to our left-hand side. Junior Firpo weighing up his options. Aaronson's coming short in space, but it goes to Piroe instead. Back to Rothwell. Rothwell can turn it to his right to Bogle. Bogle infield to Piroe. Goes on a run, gets it back off Piroe. He's in the area. Low ball in for Ramazani. Oh, almost worked that one away from Doyle as he turned in one movement. But Doyle recovered the situation, got a foot in to get it away, and now Norwich have played it through a number of Leeds challenges. There's a little tug back from Piroe, which is going to earn him the easiest yellow card decision of the evening. Quickly taken by Norwich, who want to get on with the game, but their man is still down, so the referee is calling them back.
McLean just grabbed by Piroe. Plenty of players behind the ball as well, but decides to get himself a yellow card.
35,157 inside Ellen Road. Norwich have brought 954. Fair play. That is
it's a long way.
Pretty impressive turnout on a Wednesday night when you've done Sheffield United potentially at the weekend and then back up to Yorkshire, even further into Yorkshire for a game against Leeds United. So well done the Norwich travelling fans, even despite what the home supporters might be suggesting at the moment. Expensive business following your football club these days. Norwich attack down the edge of the area. Stacey trying to get his ball into the middle. It's blocked by Firpo. Norwich have a corner. Stacey thought about taking perhaps, and then instead Marcondes comes over to take this one. Marcondes puts the ball on the edge of the quadrant. Plays it into the penalty area. Headed away by Firpo. Ramazani. Lovely first touch. Can he get round the opponent to pick it up on the other side? The answer was no, not quite. But still the ball is right back now on the edge of the Norwich penalty area, which is much more to Leeds' liking.
Yeah, and Angus Gunn will not just boot it up the pitch either. He's going to wait for everyone to come back, which is a bit strange. But there is, 4 minutes to go when you're 2-0 down. But they're going to take their time.
Can confirm, stats fans, that Manor Solomon's goal was the 16th quickest in Leeds history, for those who like these things. Thank you to my man for providing that in-game stat. You'll never sing that. Duffy sweeps the ball across the pitch, easily read by Gnonto to slide in, get it back to Bogle. Now Gruev. Now Gnonto. Lovely ball to Gruev. That's opened things up for Leeds. Gruev onto Ramazani. Runners coming. And Firpo's one of them. And he has the ball now. Far outside the area. Somewhat peculiar ball ultimately, or decision from Firpo. Try and go outside of his man. Piroe was only belatedly setting off. Leeds from the halfway line again have the ball back again.
Well, Piroe started slow and got slower. He looks a bit tired out there.
Two, almost full games for him as Aaronson still lively for Leeds. Firpo to his left will cross into the box, headed away by Duffy almost inevitably. Gruev nods it down for Aaronson. Aaronson holds it up in the penalty area. Needs support of Rothwell. In it goes Rothwell. Firpo, edge of the area, Ramazani. He'll shoot, and he bends that one in, and it skims up in front of Gunn. And it requires a somewhat desperate save from the goalkeeper.
Oh, was that Meslier in the bottom corner or not? Angus Gunn couldn't take the chance, but it was excellent play. Eventually, when it comes out to Ramazani, just one thing in his mind, move it and whip it into that corner. I think it might have been going in as well. Good save, good shot.
Ball as Leeds are making another change. Guilavogui is going to come on, and Joe Rothwell Gets to make the pleasant walk in front of the Leeds fans behind the goal as he heads back towards the dugout, reflecting on a job well done. Guilavogui straight into the penalty area for this corner. Curled in, up in the air. It's going to go out for another Leeds corner off the head of Duffy there.
Good delivery, wasn't it, from Gruev?
Really good. And he has the chance to try and do something similar again here. That's the applause for Rothwell you can hear. Referee wants somebody behind the goal to
collect the ball.
Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing. It's a thing. Leeds corner again. Curled in, headed goalwards, and right to the back post. Guilavogui arrived from Piroe's header, and he couldn't quite stretch his leg long enough to turn that one in for 3.
That would have been one heck of a first touch. Unfortunately, he didn't get that touch. Otherwise, it would have ended up in the back of the net. Another excellent corner kick. Good touch from Piroe as well. Wonder Guilavogui, do you think he was heading straight for the post? That just hesitated slightly. Almost number 3.
Norwich change, Hill's on, Dobbin off. Dobbin, who only arrived a couple of weeks ago on loan. And board has gone up. 4 added minutes. As Duffy plays a long ball forward. Rodon's underneath it. Looping header forward. Delivered back towards that penalty area. Firpo is going to get after it. Stacey on his shoulder. Firpo's lost out to Stacey. Stacey, though, ultimately can't control. And it rolls off his foot and behind for a goal kick. And now he's got to make the long jog back towards the halfway line.
Well, just 3 minutes or so to see this one out. It's been fairly comfortable, hasn't it, to this point? Obviously still a bit of time left, but defensively would look strong and sound. They've been pretty ineffective up top.
A game that probably looks quite similar to the game against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on the weekend. Goal in either half. Could Leeds yet add to it in the last couple of minutes that remain here? Norwich have a throw-in in their own half. Dropped in by into Marcondes there, but it's all good. Played out by Gunn to Duffy. Just walks it forward, which is fine.
Take your time.
Yeah.
No problems at all with that.
Given back to him from Doyle. So you like about Norwich, but they've stuck to the plan, haven't they?
They do, and you have to, you know, have belief in what you're trying to do.
I guess the concern is if the plan doesn't actually appear to be working and you still stick to it, maybe
well,
that's when you invite
and then
a little bit of
when the players don't believe in it, then
criticism.
yeah, absolutely. Need to get results with it at some point. But to be fair to their manager, they're missing so many players.
Yeah.
They really are. And of course, they're their top scorer, 15-goal Borgia signs. I mean, you're not going to beat your best, are you?
Got himself booked for something really stupid, suspended rather, for something really stupid as well.
Yeah, I think it was a 6-game ban, I think.
6-game ban, yeah.
This is his 3rd one that he's missed.
McLean banned for 4 as well. He's only just back. So I guess they haven't helped themselves on that court from that basis, but Leeds United have no concern about that. Just looking to do the job here, and well on course now to make sure that gets done. Norwich in possession in the Leeds half, down the left-hand side. Forward run from Mahovo. One of the young players on the bench today. Poor ball. Now Leeds have a last opportunity perhaps to launch the counter-attack. Gnonto. Little break almost for Aaronson, but not quite. But it will come again for Gnonto from Guilavogui. Gnonto has his legs taken from underneath him as he looked to get forward for Leeds United. Miles was the aggressor. So it's a Leeds free kick just inside the Norwich half. Ball in the centre circle. Guilavogui happy to go back short to Gruev. And as we move into the last 30 seconds of the game, what can Leeds yet conjure up? Aaronson trying to do something. Piroe lays it off for short of Gnonto. And so Leeds start again with Bogle down the right-hand side. Another shift put in by him up and down that touchline for Leeds. He's going again here. Still going, gets to the byline. Corner kick, he wins. Great run from Jayden Bogle at this late stage, still pushing forward. And he can feel very satisfied with his contribution this evening.
Yes, I think he certainly improved more and more.
And that's it. That's the game over. Leeds United have recorded another victory here at Ellen Road. Pretty comfortable, pretty much in control throughout from that very, very early goal inside 60 seconds from Manor Solomon. The only other time they managed to notch was Solomon with a cross and Dan James with a lovely finish. But that was good enough to earn 3 more points, and that was good enough to take Leeds United back to the top of the championship table. Full-time scoreline. It's finished. Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0.
A solid professional performance, it really was, after that early goal. Didn't really capitalise, but we dominated. We're more in control as the half wore on. In the second half, just we were the stronger side. We looked better. Scored an excellent goal. Could have probably had one more as well. At the other end, Norwich offered very little. I thought our closing down was really good. Defensively, we were sound. Meslier only had a couple of things to do, but he did it well. And overall, job is done. On to the next one.
And the next one's a huge one. Away at Burnley next Monday evening. So we'll be on the road for that one. Before all of that, we'll be getting the reaction of those down below in the Leeds United camp to this one. A good night at the office. Leeds United have won it. Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0.